For the first time in its 25-year history, the Kelly Cup Finals are coming to California. And for the first time since its debut season, the ECHL Championship Series will be returning to Pennsylvania. Plus, we'll continue our conversation with a man who's been around for each of the ECHL's playoff series, all 340 of them over the last quarter century. Those stories and more are next on ECHL Week. One's in the East, one's in the West. One's a top seed, the other's number 4. One franchise started in Ohio and wound up in Pennsylvania. The other also started in Ohio and has taken a path through Alabama and New Jersey before landing in California. But after 12 years in Reading and 8 years in Stockton, the Royals and Thunder have one big thing in common. They're both making their first trip to the Kelly Cup Finals this season. We'll look ahead to that final series a bit later, but first, let's take a look at how Reading and Stockton managed to reach every team's ECHL goal, the Kelly Cup Finals. The games were hard-fought and incredibly close. 2 went to overtime, 4 were decided by 1 goal, and the other by 2 goals. The Western Conference Final was great hockey by just about any measure. And with a 2-1 series lead, the Thunder did their best to close out third-seeded Idaho on Stockton Arena ice. For the highlights, let's pick up the play in the second period of Game 4 in this series. Mike Benton and Danny Sperry have the call on the Stockton Thunder Broadcast Network.
Play and the puck is cleared. 40 seconds gone by as scored Baldwin to toss Idaho a chance to change up. Taylor feeds it in front. Robinson score! Did that play ever come from out of nowhere? 47 seconds gone by in the second period. Taylor to Brett Robinson in front. It's 1-0 Steelheads.
And it was a bit of a long shift right there, and they got a little bit tired, hemmed in their own zone. A couple overs leading to that one, but a little too casual with the puck behind their own net.
Well, does that certainly set tempo? A goal in the first minute of the period. It's Brett Robinson's 4th of the postseason from Justin Taylor. 47 seconds in. Thunder go to work, though, in the offensive zone. Here's Berglund at the left circle, centering shot by Reed, score! It takes a grand total of 20 seconds for the Thunder to answer. He feeds it for Hunter from the line. Tossing for Hunt in the left corner, who's bodied by Baldwin. Hunt sheds him, returns it down low. Hayes takes it, trying to maneuver around Shaber. Taken down, but Hayes regains. Sends this one across. Little Hunt shoots, score! That's what you call leadership. The captain comes on through again.
I think he wanted redemption for that empty net that he barely missed, as the pass was a little off from him. But to go back to Jim from Tracy's question, to answer that with 2 questions, who's going to step up and be the hero? 2 words for you, Garrett Hunt.
Contributing at key times in scoring opportunities. Dekastroza centering, Taylor save, rebound, score! And just like that, Idaho comes right back. Brett Robinson bangs a rebound in with 16:47 to go in the third. It's his 2nd goal of the game. Blocklear carries into the zone, drop pass, deck, high slot, shoots wide, rebound, Blocklear, score! And with 2:36 to go in the third period, Stockton has come off the hinges. Maxime Blocklear, a clutch goal, the rebound blocker side of Josh Robinson. Thunder 3, Idaho 2.
You should have seen how hard he was skating to the bench right there to tap gloves on the way in. And We'll see if Idaho calls a timeout after this one to fuel the fire right here, but they did have a success last time when they got scored on, so if you're Stockton, you really got to lock it up now.
Off the draw, Idaho wins Case. To the point, Baldwin shooting wide. Rebound to Shaber. Backhands it off the net. 1.4 to go. The net knocked off its moorings. And we'll see what happens right here.
It's going to be a delay of game penalty to Nathan Deck.
They call penalty shot.
And I could see if the puck was on its way into the net and he pushes it off, but that puck was not going into the net. It should be a delay of game penalty, but penalty shot. That's a risky call for an official to make.
So it's down to Olivier Waugh against Austin Smith. 3-2 Thunder in game 4. Smith collects. Here he comes down the middle. On goal, shoots. Save made by Waugh! It's a flex wide. 3-2 Thunder with 1.4 to go. Battling back as Gibb trying to knife it away here from Taylor with 3:20 left. Gibb collects and shovels this one to center. It's a 2-on-1 now. Ryan Hayes, right wing, into the zone. Wade's pass in front, deflection save. Hayes rebound, score!
And if you glance up at the shots on goal right now, 15-6 Idaho, you got to feel, if you're the Steelheads, that's a big pill to swallow right there.
Now puck tied up in the circle, taken now by Carroll. The shot, saved by Waugh. Rebound, he'll touch it to Gron behind the net. 1-0 Thunder. Gron walks out left side. Watched by Little, set across. Coletti one-timer, saved by Waugh again. Carroll feeds it back to the point. Coletti, wrist shot, saved by Waugh once more. Rebound, score. Tyler Gron was parked at the front of the net and wide open. With 15:21 to go, Gron gets his first point of the entire series.
And it's the second one that hits someone in front and just takes a strange bounce right on Gron's stick. And Gron was actually, he's holding his stick up before that shot was taken, but Coletti didn't see him.
Andrus, a weak shot block. Delayed penalty coming. Here's Little, a breakaway pass. Skips off Clark. Knocks it away. Here's Clark. Empty net, score! As chaotic of a play as you could draw up. With 1:44 to go in the second period, the Thunder reclaim the lead 2-1.
There were steelhead bodies all over the floor, or the ice right there. As Ryder takes a dive at it. Robinson dives and misses it. Clark slides in and grabs the puck and tucks it into the empty cage.
2-1 Thunder, face-off right circle, net to our right's empty. Idaho wins the draw. Baldwin, high slot for Smith, one-timer blocked. Rebound loose at the line. Kept in by Baldwin. His wrist shot blocked again. Hunter is there. Puck is cleared. 10 seconds left. Matt Case picks up. Idaho line sends it across. Andrus right wing. 5 seconds left. Wrist shot saved by Waugh. Rebound. Clark. He clears the puck. The empty net. It rolls wide. Fires. And the Thunder are off the bench celebrating. Coming full circle now, Mike Pierce of the ECHL on his way out to center ice to present the trophy. Going here to the Thunder, who are the first team to host a Kelly Cup Finals in the state of California. Previous winners, Las Vegas, Alaska, Idaho, Trenton, Columbia, Greenville, South Carolina, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Pensacola. And as Captain Garrett Hunt joins Pierce back at center ice, the question is, do you touch it or do you not? That's been a long-time superstition. As of right now, Hunt doesn't touch it, but it is, of course, a Kodak moment, and the entire Thunder bench convenes at center ice here.
Just to clarify that ending to Game 4, The rules call for a penalty shot to be awarded when the net is intentionally dislodged from its moorings and the resulting minor penalty can't be served in its entirety within regulation time. The Eastern Final is just as tight as the one in the West. That's straight ahead on ECHL Week.
From opening night until the Kelly Cup is raised, watch every game of the 2012-13 ECHL season exclusively on AmericaOneSports.com. Catch the action live or on demand. Games available on your PC, Mac, or mobile device. The biggest goals, hardest hits, and spectacular saves all season long can be found only at AmericaOneSports.com, the official broadband broadcaster to the ECHL.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids
you.
how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
If the tight Western Conference Final was exciting, the Eastern Final was heart-pounding and breathtaking. 5 games decided by 6 goals, and 3 of those matches went into overtime. Conference regular season champ Reading had a 2-1 series lead heading into Game 4 in Ohio. The Cyclones have to win 1 more at home to extend the series. Game 4 starting and ending are amazing. Here are Nick Brunker and Greg Waddell to take us through it on the Cyclones Radio Network.
Alex Berry through center. Rifles it right side. Kirk McDonald over and fires, but it's blocked nicely there by David McDonald. Around the far side boards, it's kicked in towards the corner by the defenseman Matera. Champaign centers one to Berry and fires, and he scores! 20 seconds in, Alex Berry has dug in his 5th goal of the playoffs. 4 of them have come in the series, and it is 1-0 Royals. Their boards at the point shot, and in the air, it's tipped away there, and Weller got the shot from the near side point, and I think Siner almost tipped it back in. A bad angle try, and they score again. It's Barlow from behind the net. It was passed to him, and just inside the left circle. Champaign keeps it deep, fires in on net, ricochets to the middle. Here come the Clones the other way on the outlet. At center ice, it's Chris Reed. Tangled up with Champaign, but rifles it behind the net. Rolls to the near corner. Molly nearly stripped by the big Swede. Kicks out to the line. Held by Cincinnati's McFarland. Winding, driving, save, and the rebound on the doorstep. Trickles behind. They score!
Well, Gill made the initial save on it. He knocked it down, but the puck fell behind him and was rolling ever so gingerly, and then was poked into the net as Eves came behind the play and was able to get the loose puck behind Gill and poke it into the net. And that is a huge, huge goal as the Clones doing a nice job in front of Gill.
McFadden, center point, back to Pellick, right circle, and shooting one, save, and the rebound is in front and cleared to the line, but not out yet. Cyclones pressuring, tying this game up with a goal. They need it in the right corner. Pellick again, out to the line, but it's held, and a chop back goes to Pellick, and they'll work on the right wing half board. Just at the hash mark, pass down low, back and forth, and up top to McFadden. McFadden, center of the blue line, looking to fire and does. It's just wide. Rebound on the doorstep. Flung out, but not out yet. McFadden, backdoor Pellick, his shot, scores! Short side! This game is tied!
The Clones just missing getting second chance opportunities. Not that time, and it wasn't even a second chance that time because it came over near side to Pellick, and he was down at the bottom of the circle, and again, he had very little room to shoot that through, but found just that crease to get it inside the post on the glove side of Riley Gill. The Clones, after giving up 2 goals in the first minute 2, have battled all the way back.
40 seconds to go in regulation. Tifu dumps it down, and it's behind the net. Rolling to Pellick. Pellick back again to O'Hanley. O'Hanley pinned it loose, trying to get it past Kirk McDonald. Goes out to the line. He'll sidestep a check. Winding, driving, save, and the rebound is taken behind the net. O'Hanley was dumped, but they don't call a penalty, and it goes to the near point for Matera. Right side, Tifu cutting and passing across the ice. Backdoor try, knocked into the air. Another one by Tifu is blocked. Another one scored. A third time goes up into the air. Knocked down a third time by Tifu, and he buries one with 11 seconds to go, and it is a 3-2 Royals game. And a draw won by Cincinnati. It is going to be Roussel giving it to David McDonald, his partner, as they try to clear out and set up a breakout. The shot's a little closer now than they were. The first 2 of the period have gone for the Royals. That last little rush produced a couple good scoring chances. Now another, as it's a 2-on-1 with O'Connor right wing. He has a man with him and fires, and he scores. Sends it through Hauser's blocker side shoulder. I'm not sure if it beat him underneath the arm or over. But either way, it is now a 1-0 Reading advantage at 7:08 on their 7th shot of the night. They'll try again. Auban over the blue line left wing, wraps it around the base of the wall. It kicked up into the air off the glass. Taken for a moment by Stevenson, then away by Weller, up to Kirk McDonald. And the talented forward up the left wing side, going to beat Josh McFadden. Tries to cut to the slot and does, and he scores! Short-handed goal right through the legs of Hauser. Born on the chance, beaten by the defenseman Josh McFadden, and it is a 2-0 Royals lead. Face-off, tied up, in skates, still underneath the centerman. Cyclones get it back again as Pellick rifles one into the glove. It came free for another moment, still loose in the paint, trying to dig for it a second time is Eves along with Auban. Still jawing away at it. Eves will score! He finally came away! I don't know how he got to it. It was underneath 3 Reading bodies, but somehow he was able to grab it and lift it past the stick side of the outstretched glove of Riley Gill. The big number 1 go on the board for the Cyclones, and after a major scrum at the net, Dan Eves picks up his 3rd goal in as many games, his 3rd of the postseason at 16:05. Karams around to the far boards. Kazierski collides with Wilson there. Puck is taken by Matera. The former Michigan Wolverine will get it into the Cincinnati corner. Tipped to the near wall by Hauser's goal stick. And it comes out in front. A wraparound try, scored. It's TJ Seiner. Another bad bounce. And it goes through the legs of Hauser and into the net. It is 3-1.
14 seconds remaining in regulation. Cincinnati working around the horn. O'Hanley's just going to drive one towards that. Hit a body. Didn't make it through. Turning and wheeling one out in front is Mbach. 7 seconds remaining in regulation time. Puck loose in the far wing corner. 3 seconds remaining in regulation time. Big rocket. The Reading Royals are going to the Kelly Cup Finals. A 3-1 victory over Cincinnati tonight. For the first time in team history, the Royals are headed to the finals.
We now ask you to turn your attention to the ice and ECHL Vice President of Hockey Operations, Joe Ernst, who will present the EA Bud Ginger Memorial Trophy to the Eastern Conference champion Reading Royals and Captain Yannick Tifu.
The Royals now gathering around the table as Yannick Tifu was to be presented with it, but he summons his teammates over. And Riley Gill going to crouch down in front as the Cyclones unfortunately sit and watch as the celebration now coming to a close.
We continue our chat with former ECHL Commissioner Pat Kelly next on ECHL Week.
I'm a legend. I'm the player you want to be. I'm the name you'll wear on your jersey. I'm one of a kind. You'll see me everywhere. On the ice. Online. On the All-Star team. Take a good look. I'm the future.
So many reasons to be a fan, so many ways to show it. Customize your own at shop.nhl.com.
A 72-game regular season and 3 rounds of playoffs have led to the start of the Kelly Cup Finals. Since there's so little inter-conference play in the ECHL, the finals are often interesting, and this season is no exception. In fact, Reading and Stockton have only played 3 times in December of 2005. For the Eastern Conference regular season champ Royals, their power starts in net. Over the last 2.5 months, former Kalamazoo wing Riley Gill, who came to Reading after spending most of the season in the Southern Pro League, had a regular season goals against average of .128 and save percentage of .952. That would have led the league if he'd have had enough appearances. He lost only 3 of his 14 games in regulation time, and his numbers in the postseason have been almost as good. Up front, veteran captain Yannick Tifu leads the way, but he has plenty of support from former Gwinnett and South Carolina forward Nikita Kashirski and speedy TJ Seiner, who spent much of this season with Hershey in the American League. The defense is anchored by 4 players who are also battle-tested: Brett Fleming, Dustin Stevenson, Mark Matera, and another recent Hershey returnee, Patrick Weller. This is a deep club that does most things very well, as their team record 99 points in the regular season would indicate. Stockton's Olivier Waugh doesn't have eye-popping numbers, but against Idaho in the conference finals, he was sensational. He allowed 9 goals in 5 games. The Edmonton Oilers prospect has been in the net for all 12 of the Thunder's postseason victories. Offensively, Ryan Hayes leads the ECHL with points this playoff season. Coach Matt Thomas picked him up from South Carolina for future considerations. Other big-time points producers in the playoffs have been Andrew Clark and Harrison Reed. Another name to point out is Garrett Hunt. The captain of the team in his 5th year with Stockton has had over 200 penalty minutes during every season in the Central Valley. But in addition to toughness, he provides veteran leadership, which has obviously paid off in the last 6 weeks. A blue line key for Stockton is Nathan Deck, who spent half the season with Oklahoma City in the AHL. The Thunder are 8-2 at Stockton Arena this postseason. As the ECHL's 25th year concludes, perhaps it's fitting that 2 teams are making their Kelly Cup Finals debut. Given the competitive nature of both this year's playoffs and these 2 teams, it should be quite a show. Later this month, at the conclusion of the ECHL playoffs, League Commissioner Emeritus Pat Kelly will walk to center ice and present the cup, which bears his name, to the captain of the league's new championship club. Kelly's been involved with organized ice hockey for more than 60 years, and in the second part of our interview with a longtime player, coach, and administrator, He talks about his first foray into trying to make a team, coaching in the National Hockey League, and his part in helping the sport grow.
Talk a little bit about your introduction into the sport of ice hockey, when even before the ECHL years. How did you get started, and what led you to this career where you've been able to live your whole life in this wonderful game and this wonderful business?
A true story. I was 12 years old, and I had never skated on artificial ice. I grew up in a little town of Crowland, Ontario, which is now all Welland. There used to be Welland and Crowland, and they built a Welland-Crowland arena in 1948. And so the Crowland Fire Department wanted to put a Bantam team together to represent Ontario in the Bantam Championships. Well, they had a tryout, and there must have been 75 kids out on the ice, and our coach then was Babe Kadotsky, who I didn't know at the time, but he said, well, all we're going to do today, boys, is we're going to no pucks. I just want everybody to skate. And there was 3 other gentlemen, firemen, had their fire uniforms off. If they come around until you tap you on the shoulder and said, that's it, you got to go off, and you're not going to make the next step. So I'm skating around, and I see this guy eyeballing me, and I thought, oh, God. Sure enough, he comes over and taps me on the shoulder. Says, you're done, so away I go. But I thought I can make this team, so I knew the rink a little bit. I run down the corridor, and I watched where he was, and I popped back out in the ice. Kept skating. I tried to stay in a pack of guys. I wasn't trying to be the leader of all the guys, so I stayed in the pack, and finally I see him eyeball me again. I thought, oh, God. He said, didn't I come over and tap you on the shoulder? I said, no, that was I had a younger brother, 16 months younger, and we both had red hair and freckles. I said, no, that was my younger brother. He's over there. Oh, okay. I made the team. And we won the Bantam B Championship of Ontario that year. So I said to my dad, I'm going to be a hockey player. And that's how I got my... And I think I loved, because I played pond hockey all my life as kids, and road hockey and stuff. So like most Canadian boys did back in those days. So, but that was my introduction to win a championship my first year in organized hockey. So.
What about your time in the National Hockey League, coaching the Colorado Rockies, as they were known at the time? What particular memories do you have of being in the NHL during that period?
I had some guys. Barry Beck was tremendous. He was a rookie. I think that first year he was tied with Reed Larson for the Rookie of the Year. I had Wolf Paymont was one of my best forwards, probably, and Paul Gardner. Doug Favell was in the net. And I can remember to this day right now, I'm standing in Maple Leaf Gardens, my first game in the Gardens, because I played junior in the Gardens against a couple junior teams. And my dad was a big Maple Leaf fan. And at night when they sang the national anthem, the hair on the back of my neck, I could hardly keep from crying, because I knew I'd lost my dad when I was 15. And I knew he was up in the rafters that night watching me, that this was something that he would be proud of me of. And just to get to that, I lasted 1 year, made the playoffs. And then the next year I got fired in November. But I always felt when you have a team that's in the bottom of the rung, your chances of staying on too long is not too healthy.
Was John Van Boxmeer on that team too? I remember being at some of the... You played Philadelphia in that playoffs, didn't you? A best of 3 back then. Yeah, and I remember that John Van Boxmeer and Barry Beck must have played 45 minutes a game. I think, was Mike Kitchen on that team too?
Little guy, yep.
And I just remember that Barry Beck and John Van Boxmeer, they were all over the ice, and they played 45 minutes that game I saw, and you must have been very proud of them.
I think it was 2-2 in Philadelphia. We took them into overtime, and there was, I think, just over a minute gone in the overtime, and Clarkie got a draw back to the point, and the guy shot it, missed the net, hit, and I think it was I forget who Clarkie's winger was. He popped it in the corner, and then they come back to Colorado here, and they beat us 3-1 in the open net. So I think we give them a pretty good tussle. We were 19 wins, 41 losses, and 22 ties that year, which was no overtime, thank God. We may not have had 22 ties, but no, that was a thrill of my life, just to say I was part of the NHL and to make the playoffs. Was super.
And that must have also helped, even though the Rockies didn't stay around for a long time and became later the New Jersey Devils. Helped at least pave the way for what ended up being a very successful Colorado Avalanche franchise. And of course, we're in Colorado right now, and hockey is vibrant and thriving in both Colorado and in Loveland in the ECHL. There are no limit to the number of areas where you've had an effect on hockey, and it's made a big difference.
As I always hope, my wife's let me do this for 60 years. In 60 consecutive years, I've had a job doing coaching, playing, and I played and coached for quite a few years, then just coaching and managing it. And then when Mr. Bratton hired me to run this, to start the ECHL, and then I've been on as a Commissioner Emeritus since '97. So and my wife spent a lot of time by herself and my kids, but she's let me do this for the past 60 years, so it's been great fun.
The final part of our interview with Pat Kelly will be shown next time on ECHL Week. The best part of the season is the playoffs, and the best part of the playoffs is the finals. Join us next time as we look at how the title series between Stockton and Reading begins. Until then, make it a good week. Make it an ECHL week.